definitely didn't spend an extended period of time just chit-chatting before we started recording today. No. Never. Absolutely not. Never. But, hello, bonjour. Hi. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. I am drinking, again, not sponsored by Ardor Energy, but I really wish I was, because it's very delicious. Today I'm drinking a caffeinated sparkling water beverage in the flavor cucumber mint.
That sounds very good.
Thank you. It is.
And hello, everyone. I am Lana, your resident evil diva. And I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. I'm drinking juice out of my cup. And I have my most important cup, which is my mug. Period. And you can get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Canada, I'm looking at you, although it'll be a delay, but it'll get there to you eventually. Get your cup merch. Thank you.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. How does she say it? What are you at? Bye. I can't say it. Whatever.
What are you at? Bye.
Yep, that's it. But I'm wearing my Terra Nova shirt. I'm a couple weeks late wearing it, but better late than never. And I'm just drinking some water.
And make sure to check out our exit interview with Terra Nova, available on the channel. Ding.
Ding. And hi, I'm River, your Brazilian correspondent here on the cup. And today I'm just drinking some water out of my favorite mug, the Hello Kitty one. Well, favorite so far, because, coming soon. Stay tuned.
Period. More fun things to come. But we are here. It is the 4th episode of the 5th season of Canada's Drag Race. Another great episode of television. Another good time. Another beautiful occasion. Some fabulous looks. And some surprising things all around. The theme of the episode was gag. At least for me.
Okay.
In several many ways. And we'll talk about
I'm
why.
interested to see why.
You can't wait to see how this turns out.
On the edge of my seat.
We're going to talk about this episode. Before we do, though, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. And make sure to check out the description below, where you can find all of our audio podcast links, are the YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, including early access to most of the Look Over Here episodes for the franchises that we are currently covering, and early access to our end of the year videos, which are coming very soon. We're not at all stressed about those. It's fine. But we come back into the workroom, and Tiffany's gone.
And we didn't get to talk about it.
I'm still in denial. The stages of grief are going to be rough and rotating for a while for me, but anyway, it's nice to see that the girls really love her and that she made new sisters, and I'm excited because I know she'll come back if she's invited, I'm sure. And I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm devastated. I am sad. I am hurt. I am angry.
I feel betrayed.
Betrayed. I feel I don't know what I feel.
Gobsmacked.
Yeah, all of the above. Tiffany and Co. I love you. And I didn't get to talk about I didn't even get to talk about the exit, which I'm like sad about, but I love her. She's
The
a
only
sweetheart.
person here that did get to talk about it was her.
Ew, and Tiff.
Ew,
Tab.
Steph. I love that.
Wow.
Well, hey, it balanced out because Brandon and River did the recap for us last week, and the three of us got to interview Tiffany. So hey, it balances out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an
And-
angel. Go support her and all of these girls because these girls
Yep.
are all
all
so
the-
good to us.
check it out. Her next interview on stage.
It's funny because I feel like the queens that have been eliminated so far, it's like if they could have just held in for a couple episodes longer each, like if Tara had held in to this episode, I think Tara would have had a very strong chance of winning, especially seeing the look she put on her Instagram, which I think might be my favorite of all of the looks from that category. And then next week is girl groups. If Tiffany had hung on till then, I think Tiffany would have got a win. So who knows what's going to be? Who knows what episode 6 is going to be? Might be right in the wheelhouse of
I'm gonna
somebody.
safely assume Snatch Game.
Right.
I think it's a
Which makes me
Bollywood
worried for
challenge.
people. Oh my god. I think it's a dress like your drag mother who won season 2 of Canada's Drag Race challenge.
Well, that doesn't fit my.
So Virgo will win again.
Okay.
I'm making it's a joke.
Fair.
It's a joke. But speaking of Virgo, I do love that she's like, I just hope you all like me. I was like, oh, Virgo, no! Virgo, no!
We like you, girl. We like you, girl. You won twice, but we still like you.
She does have a huge target on her back now.
But I don't think it was because of the like having the wins and all of that. It's because she said that after saying that she gave the beaver to Jaylene because she had the best track record, and Perla was like, "Oh,
I mean,
okay,
it is questionable.
my drag." You know what I mean? Like, so my win doesn't count. Okay.
Right. I feel like a win should count a little bit more. Like, yeah, sure, she's been in the bottom 2 times, but I feel like the win kind of outweighs, like, maybe they're pretty even.
But here's the thing though, because at that moment, Jaylene's track record was high safe.
Right.
And Perla's was low win. So honestly, they kind of balance out.
I know.
Right.
It's like
I
you had
They
Perla
like
here.
neither had a best track record. They kind of had similar.
According
So
to the way
it's
that we
the
do
thing
our
for me
drafts,
was
they both had 7 points.
Right. It's Perla here, Jaylene here. It was just like she had the middle of the placements.
And then I guess if you're going off of consistency's sake, then I guess I would say Jaylene.
Yeah.
Right, but the problem was she said track record. If she would have said I gave it to Jaylene because she's been more consistent, sure.
Then that way it would have been better wording for sure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. She also said, I did it for track record, and I also did it from my heart. So there it is. That was the tipper. That's the difference maker. She did it from her heart. Perla didn't have her heart. Jaylene had her heart. That's just what it is.
Yep.
So.
And Xana, she's like, just to make you feel better, Virgo, everybody raise your hand if you would have done the same thing. And pretty much everybody raised their hand.
Everybody would have did it.
I was like, not fuck Perla's drag.
Poor Perla.
I mean, Perla, love Perla. And I love Perla. Y'all know I just obsessed with her. But I feel like the heart wants what the heart wants, and everybody would have picked Jaylene. I would have picked Jaylene at that point, even though it's obsessed with Perla as I am. I would have been like, "But it's Jaylene. We can't not give it to Jaylene."
Because let's be real here, they all knew what the lip sync song was. They saw who was in the bottom 3. I think every single girl on that stage, including Perla, Tiffany, Jaylene, Brooklyn, Shea Coulee, the producers, cameraman, and the PA that just got hired this season all knew that either Perla or Tiffany likely would have beaten Jaylene in that lip. And at the end of the day, as much as I love Tiff and I love Perla, Jaylene, I'm not going to say has a higher purpose, but Jaylene's impact thus far in the season has been stronger than both Perla and Tiffany.
Yeah. I just brought it up because I agree with everything that y'all said. My point with what I said is just I understand why Perla feels like invalidated in her,
Yeah.
like that's my main point in all of this.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I also would have given it to Jaylene if I was there. You know what I mean? It's not about that. It's not about that.
Amongst
I'm just
this
saying, I
group, raise your
understand
hand
how
if you
Perla
would have
felt
given
like
the beaver to Jaylene.
very attractive. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
great.
would have given it
Let's
to
move
Jaylene.
along here.
But
No,
then.
David
also-
has something to say.
Yeah, I also want to
Yeah,
quickly
okay,
say
sorry.
that this is the most I've related to Virgo now, because I would have been the same way. I don't want people to be mad at me. I don't want people to hate
We
me.
know.
Like, so relatable. I'm with you
Not
there.
we know. Not
mean,
we
we do
know,
know.
River. Not the David. We know you would be that. You would be that guy.
Mhm.
But
not
no.
me hearing things in the background. My boyfriend also raised his hand if you would have given the golden beaver to Jaylene.
That's funny.
We would give it to Jaylene. Like,
Right.
He
but
just like,
yeah,
popped into the room and I was like,
absolutely. Like, absolutely. But see, I do agree with you, David. I would be like, wait, with Virgo, I'd be like, as Virgo, I'd be like, please don't be mad at me because I did what I did because I followed my heart. I did.
Mhm.
yeah.
Please don't be mad at me. But yeah,
Because
was-
I get it when it comes to these seasons where we have this like, oh, I'm gonna save someone situation, whether it be All Stars or whether it be the Beaver Twist on Canada. What happens in the early parts of the season does end up affecting the way that other queens make their decisions as the season goes on. And as we've seen with the 3 episodes that we've had with the Beaver so far, it's kind of been 3 different reasons for someone getting the Beaver. So I'm really interested to see how that progresses moving forward. But
I think it really depends on who wins, because I feel like Xana would play it strategically, which hasn't been done yet. That it has been announced, because it maybe it was, but we don't know. Okay.
who knows? We come back into the workroom the next day, and we've got a little bit of a debate, a little bit of a discussion about one particular lip sync that was also, from what I found out, contentious amongst those of us covering this season.
Mhm.
And that obviously was the lip sync between Sanjina and Perla. I have had Bad Bitches Don't Cry stuck in my head for the last week.
Mhm.
Like, I'll literally be unloading the dishes and I'm like, Bad Bitches Don't Cry. Bad Bitches Don't Cry. Bad Bitches Don't Cry. I'm like, yes. And I knew that song before. And I love Priyanka's music. And I'm like, now I'm just obsessed with that song and that lip sync. But can we go around and say who we thought won that lip
Yeah,
sync?
I think
real
we're
quick?
split down the middle, maybe.
I think we are split
Left
down the
and right?
middle. I think so.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is River,
I mean, I said it on the podcast. It was very close, and only because she embodied the song better, but Sanjina. That's literally the only reason.
I think it's an amazing lip sync. But for several reasons that I won't get into because we'll be here for hours, I also said Sanjina.
I said that I thought the lip sync was close, but I thought it was Perla because I think Perla was more subtle, and I thought Sanjina was a little bit more was
Manic.
doing a lot more, more manic, more flailing instead of it was the subtleness of Perla that I liked the most.
Yep. I also thought Perla won the lip sync because there were levels to it, and I will
There
say
were levels in Sanjina's too.
That's true. That's
Well,
true. It was more like on 9 or 10 the whole time.
Yeah.
But with Perla, I also was so impressed with how she whips her hair, because I even said on Espana, there's a queen that does a lot of hair flipping and I don't like how she does it, but this queen knows how to hair flip. So I love that.
Which?
Yeah. La Nina. But also I have this weird thing. I don't like it when people clap in a lip sync. I don't know why, but if you suddenly clap at some point, I just don't like that. And Sanjina tends to do that, which is perfectly cool. It's just a weird thing with me that I'm I don't like Morphine also does it where she'll clap randomly. Oh, it's a weird thing.
Oh, when they be like,
yeah,
into it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So you said fuck Sanjina and her drag. Got it.
No, never.
No.
I actually thought it was a great lip sync though.
It was
the lip sync of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, it will be featured on my end of year list. I don't know how high it will be, but it will be on my. I'm really glad that we're cutting off with the slay off.
Yeah, yeah. The playoffs is
Because I'm like, ooh, I get to include the slay off lip syncs. Perfect.
I
Well,
agree with you,
actually,
David. I think the levels of Pangina, because not Pangina, Lord have mercy. Uh, I'm thinking of
Go check out
Sangina
our
and
interview
Perla.
with Pangina
Pangina and
Deals.
Perla,
Dang.
Pangina.
I was putting
Perla.
both of them together. I was putting
Yeah.
Perla and Sangina together. But Perla, but yeah, you could check out our interview with Pangina if you wanna. But uh the levels with Perla, like she started off like that. I think she started off on like a 5-6, and then she gave me a 7-8, and then towards the end she gave me that 9-10, and then with the hair flip was 11-12, baby. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I liked that, and I felt like Sangina gave me 10 out the gate. 10 out the gate. She gave energy on top of energy on top of energy, and I loved it. But I felt like, where did we go from here? It was just like, damn. And it was no coming back. It was no, I was just at that level with her the entire time.
Fair
But
enough.
I love it because I agree with Shea Coulee when she said, you are generous with your energy that you give. And I loved the energy that she gave. And she was so generous with it. And I love it. And as a part of the Bitch Nation, I appreciate the energy that she gave, but I was just like, I wanted levels, and she didn't give me enough levels.
Mhm. But I love that Twitter and the internet is just as split. Like there's been a war going on.
That is how you know that it is a damn good lip sync.
Yep.
That is how you know. And it's been a long time since I've seen social media so split on a lip sync.
Mhm.
And I live for it. And I love that
I
it's these two girls too.
actually thought Perla did better because the back of her neck did better. You know.
Oh yes. Thank you, oh my god, for the for the transition.
Michaela, from the back of her head, it was better.
I mean, but genuinely though,
how are they gonna judge? That's how they judge.
I know Sangina got a little pressed. I get it. Sangina got pressed, and I love you, baby. You know that, and I know you're watching this. She got a little pressed, and I understand why she got pressed, and I live for it. But also,
but it was so funny though.
Michaela just saying, well, I thought the back of her head performed better than yours.
Baby, I laughed so hard. I was like, how you gonna sit in this baby's face and say the back of her head performed better than her? It's what?
It's like the best fourth wall break we've ever had on Drag Race, because no one's ever acknowledged the fact that the queens are just seeing the back of these girls' heads while they're lip syncing.
Oh, I love that moment so much. It was the funniest, craziest, wildest thing. Like, why would you say that,
Look,
girl?
I get it. I know that Perla is a horror movie fan, and maybe she has a little bit of Malignant in her. And Perla, if you're watching, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. You might have a little face on the back of your head lip syncing, so I get it.
Okay, and I do too.
I mean, it's the back of her head. It wasn't about you. He was talking to Perla.
Okay. I'm just saying, other people on the panel also know what that is.
We don't really.
David.
Sometimes people just want to talk to the queen, Logan. You don't want to talk to you. But in the end, the back of their heads perform better than her in that moment. And I was like, why would you say that, Michaela? And Uma, why would y'all say that? But it was the best thing, and I laughed so hard. And I love that moment for me.
Even St. Jido, this got me too when she's like, yeah, I feel like some people aren't very grateful for how well I did in the lip sync because I saved you from being in the bottom.
Maybe the way she looked
at real, honest, and genuine on this pod today. Had Perla won that lip sync, Sangina was not touching that bottom whatsoever, and it did not matter who amongst the top three of the other team won the challenge and got the beaver. Now, mind you, it probably would have either been Perla or Michaela. But like
probably Michaela.
I think it would have been Michaela. And Michaela 100% saves Sangina. And then it's Xana and Minnie in the bottom.
Mm-hmm. That's what
And
I
based
think
on the
too.
way we saw those lip syncs to that song,
I don't
Santa
know
might
how it
not
would
have,
come.
Well,
I don't know
but
what
we'll
how
never
it would
know.
come.
We'll never
We'll
know.
never know.
We will never know. But the way Tangina looked over at Minnie and Xana when she said it, she was like, I mean, some people should be happy that I want to lip sync. I was like,
oh, she was flush.
clock it.
Flush.
I
Clock.
love it.
Like,
The,
I loved it.
the
I
girls
loved
are giving such good TV this season.
They
and
are.
Mm-hmm.
The girls are
I'm loving it.
fighting.
And
The
it's not
shadiness.
serious. I love it when they
Right.
fight and it's not serious. Love that
Mhm.
kind of stuff.
I know.
Stuff.
But yeah. So Brad walks into the workroom with a woman I've never seen before, and I do not remember her name, but she seemed lovely.
She's from Nick's.
Yeah, she's from Nick's.
Yes. And
Jessica
we
something.
get something like that. The only
Mhm.
thing I remember about her is that Brad offered to be on her creative team, and she said, "Well, that's my husband's job, but I think we can fit you in." And I was like,
Yeah. Move over, husband.
yes, but we are doing a fun boudoir photo shoot sponsored by Nyx with some pit crews. Very quickly, who are some of your standouts in the photo shoot? Starting with Lana. Why not?
First, let me just say, I am very happy that they did not say that this is a quick drag challenge and make these girls dress up in quick drag, and they gave them time to fix their face and get their life together to do these boudoir pictures. That's number one. Number two, because I'm so sick of quick drag. I think out of all the so many franchises going on, I'm sick of quick drag. I can't do another
We
quick
get quick
drag.
drag at least like 2 or 3 times a week at this point. I'm just like,
It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
it was the twerking on lemons for me that honestly
quick drag.
cut me out.
Lemons twerking. Ugh, I'm annoyed. Anyway, but for me, my standout person who I thought pictured was like Gorgina. It was Michaela's.
Per.
I loved her picture.
Per.
Mm-hmm. I had two standouts. So one of them was Sangina, especially just knowing her story and her struggles with body dysmorphia. I just found myself really rooting for her in this, and she had a lot of confidence during the whole photo shoot. So I was like, okay, like this would be very poetic and a beautiful storyline if she gets the win. But the other person for me was somebody that was just oozing sex the entire photo shoot, and that was Xana. I was okay, yeah, I'm very curious what River has to say, but I was like, man, like it felt like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this because it was just so sexual and just body parts everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, come on, Xana, you better work it. You better work it. I thought she did great.
All right, River, who'd you find hot?
Well, I don't care about that. I care about the pictures.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I judge by what picture I thought looked better.
Her.
And my favorite was Jaylene. I mean,
Mm.
period. With the 2 men, she looked so charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Yes, God.
But I also really liked Michaela and Perla. Honorable mentions.
I'm gonna give my one spot to the person that hasn't been said because my other two were Xana and Sangina. I really, really appreciated Uma's take on this challenge.
Yes.
I really, really liked it. I think if I had to pick a
Not
winner,
the picture,
it probably
but like the process, right?
Oh, the picture was also great, just with the banana, just casual with the banana in bed, and like the whole photo shoot was so fun. If I had to pick a winner, it would have been Sangina or Xana, but I did really appreciate Uma was like, no, I'm gonna take this challenge and do it my way. And I appreciated that. Yeah, and be stupid.
One of the only people we haven't mentioned, Virgo, when they put all of the whipped cream in her mouth, and she's like, oh, and she just had to like, because they went overboard with the whipped cream, so she just like pulled out. And I was like,
Helena
yes.
was gorge as well. Helena
Minnie
was gorge. Minnie was gorge.
I mean, they were all beautiful.
They were all beautiful.
Yes.
I just the ones that I
personal
like.
taste, I guess. Because
But Sangina wins! Yay!
Yay!
$2,500 towards the titty fund. Ow.
Love
I love
that.
it. Love that for her. Love that for her.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that the maxi challenge for this week we ultimately find out it is a 2-category runway situation. Where the first
A mini
It took me a
ball.
while to
If the
figure that
categories
out
are
too.
connected, I see it as a,
It's a mini
I do
ball.
it when it's 3 or more, but I like to look
Doesn't matter.
fashion extravaganza as an explanation for this much better personally. Because I like the extraness of it. So we have the look that they brought from home, which is slow-mo couture. And fast fashion. Ooh, I did that in one breath. I'm really impressed with myself. And then fast fashion, which is the look they have to make. Basically, and I know here that one specific person in this podcast does not understand this term because he did not watch Project Runway. But this is a ready-to-wear challenge from Project Runway, and I lived for it.
Period.
Very, very that.
Not to call you
Yeah.
out specifically, David, but basically, the ready-to-wear challenge is you have to make it fashionable, but still marketable.
Yep.
Sellable.
He said wearable and sellable.
Wearable,
Wearable and
sellable.
sellable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And marketable as well, because you want it to be something that still looks like fashion and still has a bit of a fashionable edge to it, but can be easily purchased by a quote unquote, I'll say everyday drag queen in
Right.
this case.
It's not like fast
Not
fashion.
couture.
You know
Not
what I mean?
couture.
Fast fashion
Factory
concept,
made.
something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can go on H&M or Amazon and pick
Not
one up.
H&M.
H&M. And pick one up.
Joe
Period.
Black is quaking somewhere.
And
Can I just
Shein.
say that I am very disappointed that nobody did a weed related look for the slow-mo? I mean,
Why? I mean,
like imagine
what's the
if
connection?
somebody did like remember that ad, the anti-weed ad where they like melt
Yep.
on the couch.
Yep.
If somebody would have done something inspired by that,
Because weed makes you just slow down.
River, I think it's
and
just because we're
relax.
stoners.
I know, but like
I mean, I got it. I got it.
some of them must be as well.
It kind of just felt like another fan runway.
It really was just a fan runway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But with a cute
Slowly.
name.
A slow mo.
And they
but it
did
was just,
slow-mo the camera on the runway, and I liked that. But
it felt more like a win. What we'll talk about.
Yeah.
It.
and from what we know now, a couple of the girls are stoners. So
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
a
We've learned.
couple of them could have done
of
it.
course.
But I think this is such an interesting way to do a design challenge because of how prevalent fast fashion has become in mainstream culture, period, but also when it comes to drag as well. It is a very easy way to get like some drag essentials, especially when a lot of queens are starting out. So I understand that. I see it, and there's been a lot of discourse about this online too, which I do love. I see it kind of almost also as social commentary on the fact that like Drag Race has become this thing where you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to prepare a Drag Race package. And I like that we're kind of just like breaking it down and like make something that looks like you could have bought it from anywhere. And I kind of like that commentary.
Right. But I feel like it's what got my attention the most was I don't remember who said it. Was it Uma? I don't remember. But one of them said that a lot of the times they are expected to always have a new look for a show. Like my thing is for a Drag Race, you shouldn't like. It is better if you don't repeat outfit, a wig, a shoe, or something. It is okay to repeat it like once or twice. I think that's fine on Drag Race. But Drag Race rules should not apply to drag queens outside of the show.
Absolutely.
So like we as people that consume drag need to evaluate what we expect from the queens because we should not expect the queens to have different looks for each show. they
Yep.
should
Absolutely.
be repeating outfits and like mix,
Yeah.
matching, whatever. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I started enjoying life a few years. So like, I want to live as much as I can,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. Like, we're contributing to that not being the case. So I feel like maybe we
Yeah.
need to realize that we are also part of it and kind of like talk about that. You know,
And on top of that, as we know, drag is expensive.
Mhm.
Like, none of us know it particularly
Exactly.
per se. I do wish we had one of our fabulous drag artists on for today's episode, just to give us like
Mhm.
that insight as well. And if you're a drag artist, comment below and give us a little bit of insight. We would love to hear from you. That includes the girls from this season. Let us know. Love you all. But it's this like multi-layered social commentary situation that I really really enjoy.
Yep.
I
They get
love
into
when Drag Race brings up like something important, like a social commentary that we all get to talk about, no matter
Yeah.
what it is.
David, Lana, what do you think about the challenge?
David, you were about to say something.
about the challenge.
Or just in general, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, well, I was going to say they kind of got into the same topic on Drag Race Down Under, and you have to
Mhm.
think like if you're spending $400-$500 on a specific look, how many shows and how many tips does it take to actually pay for that? Like, it's not realistic for somebody to be able to wear something once or even twice and it's paid for. And even if it is, okay, it's paid for, and then what do I get?
And they
where's
have
my
to make
Right.
where's
money
my
on top
profit?
of paying for it.
Right. So yeah, I think it is kind of unrealistic to expect somebody to frequently switch out what they're wearing. Get used to it. If they have a good look, get used to it. Be happy that they're showing off that same look multiple times.
Absolutely. And I think Perla said it best when she was like, because her and Minnie's conversation when she was like, I know this challenge is about, ready to wear and, something. She said, it's the difference between fast fashion and fast drag fashion. So, and I think that way, having that mindset of fast drag fashion, they can get stuff from factory stores and just stores, but then they take their expertise and their knowledge and drag it up. It'll be a
Mhm.
perfectly fine outfit, even for Drag Race. You can get a bodysuit from Amazon, but then you do your little tweaks and bedazzles and you'll, put a train on it or do something with it, and you can make it into something spectacular. And so I love the reusable. I like seeing outfits used over and over again. I like taking something out of nothing and making it into something. So I think I agree with you, River. We all have to, if you're a fan of drag in general, not just Drag Race, but if you are a fan of drag in general, you need to think realistically about these queens, because who would any of us out here taking the outfit, putting it on and throwing it away? It's not, we ain't all in the 1% who can do that. So if we
Right.
not taking the outfit and putting it on one time, being seen in it and throwing it away, I don't know how we expect these queens to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They should be able to perform in these outfits over and over again, fix it, sew it up. Oop, you got a hole in it, put a hole, patch it up and get back out on that stage. Let them
Right.
live. Let them live
Yeah.
and stop trying to put expectations that you don't have for yourself on queens and performers, period.
Right.
Like, stop.
And River, you had a really good point that we were talking about before we started recording about the combination of these runways as well. Because I think it would have been really
Because it was another
cool.
opportunity to do exactly that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I think it would have been really
Bring up a
cool.
conversation.
Yeah, I think it would have been really cool instead of doing a slow-mo runway and then the fast fashion, if it had been like an upcycled look and a fast fashion look that they had to make. Like I really like that idea.
Right?
Um
Because upcycling, if they had to make that there, it would be unrealistic because it takes longer to like cut everything up and then it's a lot of work.
Mhm.
So if the first category that they bring from home wasn't like something like a couture look but needs to look upcycled, like for example Jimbo's jeans look from Canada,
yeah.
the patchwork,
Yep.
kind of like in that area.
or
Mhm.
like eco-friendly fabrics, or like, you know, recyclable, not necessarily like an unconventional challenge, but like it could be.
But didn't we see a cycle somewhere? Can't remember the franchise. Please
Yes,
don't
and I
ask me.
don't remember what franchise it was.
Well, no, not the unconventional, but they had their first drag look and they had to take what they had from their first drag look and make it into something better and upgrade it.
Mhm.
I can't remember what
Yes.
franchise it was, but we
Me either.
did see that.
It was pretty recently. I mean, even in Canada, we had a season where they came in one look and they had to take that look that they had that they were wearing
Yeah.
and they had to make a completely new look out of it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people were not prepared for because they were like, wait, I don't have a lot of fabric on my look.
Right.
I don't want to think about it too much because I'm still upset
got the season 3.
and sad. But yeah, so the girls are getting into it, and it is very clear, very, very quickly, who has fashion and sewing knowledge and who is a hot glue gun girl. And we very quickly find out that the hot glue gun girls are Sanjina, Virgo, and Michaela. And I was like, no!
All sharing a table. And we also find out that Michaela is a Cancer.
She has
Cancer.
cancer?
I knew we had something.
She has cancer?
Wait, River, you have Cancer?
I have
Cancer?
Sorry to break the
Cancer?
bad news, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
You have cancer?
I have Cancer in my moon. I'm sorry that I had to
Oh my
bring that
God.
up.
Now I'm so curious if Sanjina really thought that or if she was making a TV moment. Either way, I love it.
Either way, I love it.
Either way, I love it.
You know what I really
Sanjina-
loved was Virgo.
Yes. Oh, I was gonna say, Sanjina, if you're watching, and I hope you are still. I was gonna ask you that today when we talked to you. Go check out.
That literally was my question.
It was literally a question that.
Oh, about that.
But we ran out of time.
We didn't get to it. I mean, I didn't get to it at all.
So if you could answer that, let
in
us
the
know.
comments
Okay,
below.
Okay, thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Love you.
Thank you. But
Sorry,
yeah,
River,
no.
Go ahead.
So when Virgo said to Sanjina, it's fast fashion, so it might just be up your alley. I love that Sanjina took it like playfully and like played around with it. I love those moments.
And she did talk about how a lot of her, like, she doesn't have a whole lot of money to, you know, get these couture looks ready. And like, I'm glad that we got like the real perspective on it from someone who, you know, is experiencing that. And I love when I see the queens in my local scene reuse looks. I'm like, oh, I've seen that one. I know what number she's about to do because it's always the same number in the same look.
That is my favorite number, so I don't care.
I mean, shout out to our local girl, quote unquote, Tempest du Jour, who there's one specific look she wears that is always just incredible. And it might involve a bowl and a fake pregnant belly and something inside of it. It's very funny. It's a very funny number. But yeah, the girls are working. Some are spiraling. Some are not getting it together. Some are getting it together. And Brad comes in and kind of, you know, gives a lot of really great advice.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it.
So is Brad actually a stylist?
Yes. Yeah. So Brad, so Brad used to be a stylist for Rachel Zoe.
Okay.
He was on the Rachel Zoe project.
The Rachel Zoe project. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
that's
that
where
sense.
he got his start. And yeah, so he's still, I believe still a celebrity stylist for a bunch of different people.
That makes sense because his advice that he gave was really good advice for a lot of different people. And he was very, very, like, wasn't judgy in a way. No. You know what I mean? It wasn't a very judgy. He was just like, hey, you might want to edit that a little bit. Just
Minnie, you might not want to use all
use
7 of
all
the fabrics
7
you've
of the
chosen.
fabrics. You don't want to do that. You might, Uma, that looks a little citrusy. Citrusy.
Drink every time.
You're wearing your green suit.
Right.
Drink every time Uma said citrusy after that moment. I was like, girl, let the citrusy go.
Yeah. And Uma took that very personally. She's like, citrusy? Well, I like citrus, so guess what? I guess I'm a citrus tree because
Lemon already won Drag Race. It's fine.
Doesn't matter. She's citrusy. But as Brad wears his green suit, she's like, how dare you? But anyway,
I'll be honest. I called my shot during these walkthroughs. I wrote it down because I was focusing on the edit, how things are going, because sometimes we like to predict those things. We watch a lot of reality TV. And I'm like, I see where this is going. I wrote it down. What did I say? I said, it's right now that I predict Sanjina and Minnie will be the bottom two. Calling my shot.
Called the shot.
I did.
Period. Well, we'll see how right or wrong you were. Well, we know, but we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I thought was weird was that Brad asked Perla, and only Perla that we saw, if her design felt fast fashion after seeing Xana's design, which I loved, but why didn't he ask that question? Because I was like, that's great, but that's not
fast fashion.
And then when he asked Perla that had like a very simple design, I was like, wait,
that is fast.
The math ain't math.
Right. Confusing. And then they had a really funny moment that I for some reason made me laugh. That Perla said, if I bomb this, just this never happened. And then Brad was like, yeah, and then I'll be like, I told you so, but actually I didn't.
Right. My favorite moment of the episode was when Brad was talking with Sanjina. Mm-hmm. And just said, when it comes to styling, I always ask someone, what do you love about yourself? Because then when you style someone, you're basing it off of a place of loving the way that you look.
Right.
And I was like, Brad Goreski, you were supposed to just be the hot white man on the panel. Why are you giving like real deep advice? Like, Jesus.
I mean, this is where he knows what he's doing. So I feel like that was the moment to show that side. Because it was very much like, because I used to watch What Not to Wear a lot, unfortunately.
Me too.
And they were all about concealing and fixing what you don't like as the main point. And Brad was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not concealing anything. We're highlighting what you love and showing what you're proud of. So like that change of mindset when you're choosing what you're going to put on your body changes everything. So I love that.
I do too. I think that's the best advice you can give anybody, especially somebody who is not confident in their body and somebody who's still trying to figure out what do you like about yourself? What part of your body is it that you like? And I'm like, oh, I mean, I like my shoulders. Okay, well, we'll give you a top with the shoulders out. Or I like my legs. We'll be putting you on the mini skirt or something that shows your tone. And if you work from what they like, they'll almost forget about what they don't like because it's like, oh, I really like how my legs look in this. And then we can, and we can conceal the things we don't like. And we can hide our flaws, but accent and highlight our attributes. And I think any real stylist who is worth their salt knows how to get their client to feel better about themselves. And no matter really what they put on, as long as they know that what's good for that client. And I love that. That was one of my favorite parts of this episode. I was like, Brad.
Yeah.
Bradley. And that kind of blends into the conversation that we got the next day in the workroom as well, where it's another lovely conversation about body types and body dysmorphia. And we find out that Helena, prior to the COVID lockdown, was much larger than she is now. And the unrealistic expectation of gays, period. But we get like a bunch of different sides of this conversation because we get Helena, who kind of is dealing with a lot of this like reverse fat shaming. We also hear from Minnie, who talks about her experience in drag and not feeling feminine enough necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
and always feeling more masculine. And then we get Sanjina adding on to the conversation again, you know, talking about her body dysmorphia and being trans and not necessarily loving what she sees in the mirror out of drag, but loving the way that Sanjina looks in drag and like wishing that that was how she always looked. I know I framed the whole conversation, but y'all throw in.
It's just interesting that it's like 3 different experiences and perspectives of the same problem per se, right?
Right. It's just bodies are so all the bodies are different, and everybody's going to have a different body and different issues and different. But it all comes down to how we look at ourselves and how we feel about what we see, and it's interesting. And I love that we got the 3 different perspectives of this is the fit body who feels too masculine when they're trying to do drag, and people are like, "Oh, you're too masculine." Then we had a person who was fat, and I'm gonna say take her word. Fat is not a bad word. Fat does not mean ugly. Fat does not mean unhealthy. They just fat. Period. So we taking back fat. And so she said, and when I lost weight, they were like, "Oh, you look so hot now." I'm like, "Baby, I was hot before. What do you mean? I was hot before. I just had more to love." But I love that she took that and was like, "I'm going to take that and reclaim that, and I'm going to take it back. I was hot before, and it doesn't matter. It just so happened that I lost some weight during this horrible time that the world went through." And then with Sanjina, she was just like, "I'm still trying to figure out this body. How do I like looking at this body? But when I'm Sanjina, that's when I feel the most comfortable." And she needs to feel like Sanjina in and out of drag. And baby, when she get to that point in her life, I'm going to celebrate her because she's going to be amazing. But it was a great conversation that I think a lot of people need to hear, because it's people going through going through these same issues and scared to talk about it, or don't have anybody to talk about it with because they don't understand. So I love that this kind of conversations are happening on television, and that people are getting to experience it and be like, "You know what? Yeah, that's me. I don't know how I like my body. I don't know if I feel feminine enough when I'm supposed to feel feminine, or I feel too masculine, or if I don't feel fat, or I feel skinny." Whatever your body type is, we just got to get to that point where we can just love us for who we are. And I know that's easier said than done, because baby, I don't love myself every time I look in the mirror either. But I'm learning to love yourself regardless of what society thinks about you, because if you don't care about if you keep caring about what everybody else say about you, you just, that's so exhausting. That's so exhausting. Just love yourself, period. Hey, Fosters.
Foster, what do you have to say on the matter?
What do you think?
What do you think about body dysmorphia, Foster?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you, Foster.
Thank you so much.
If you're not watching the video on YouTube, you're only getting 98% of the story.
Right.
David, what did you think about these conversations?
I had a lot of thoughts watching this conversation, because I will say I struggle with a lot of body issues, and people might not you might see like this little square of me and be like, "What? Why?" But for me, like, even when they were talking about like focusing on the body part you like, I'm like, I don't know what I would say for myself. I don't look at anything in my body and be like, "Wow, I love that." And even seeing Sanjina talk about how she has body dysmorphia, but then she just goes out on the stage and just shows off so much of her body. And I'm like, I cannot fathom doing that. And other people I know that have body dysmorphia, but have no problem showing off their body. And I'm like, I can't fathom it. I'm so jealous. I really envy people who are so willing to put themselves out there. And I mean, I'll be really honest with you all right now. Anytime you're seeing me on here, I have like a compression shirt under here. Like right now, I have one trying to make me look skinnier than I am, because I just, like, and you'll know that if you hug me in person, you'll feel it. You'll feel it underneath me. And I'm being way too honest right now. But like, I just,
Vulnerable in the pod.
yeah. I just wish, I wish I could be more comfortable, but I don't think I'll ever get there, honestly, ever.
Okay, so I was not going to add anything to this conversation, but now that you said that, I feel like I should, because I used to be, okay, two things. I am a non-binary person, so I don't have a problem with living in a female biological body,
Yeah.
but a lot of the times I just don't feel comfortable with my body because of how people look at me.
Yeah.
Mostly men. So like I like my body exactly the way that it is, but I just don't like to show it off because I don't feel comfortable with people looking at me.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
it goes with the whole being perceived and all of that, which comes to the second part, which is because I'm autistic, I have so many sensory issues that like the way that I look is the last thing that I think about because I'm always uncomfortable in my own body physically.
Yeah.
I'm either hot or in pain or both, or like it's just so uncomfortable to be in my body in a sensory way, but I like the way it looks visually. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But
It
it
does.
was
Yeah.
not the case for most of my life because I also have an eating disorder, had. Now it's just like the restrictions because of autism and all that, the sensory.
Yeah.
But I used to like not eat and all of that. And I used to get compliments from my family when I lost weight from not eating. And they didn't know that I was not eating. But then it would just like motivate me to be like, okay, it's what, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
if you're going to compliment someone, don't be like, oh, you look so good now that you lost weight. Just say you look so good, period.
Right.
Exclamation point. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. So yeah,
And
I just,
the complicated thing
what
is
I want to say to you, David, is that I spent 26 years of my life hating the way that I look and most things about me. And today I feel absolutely the opposite. Like, I don't think I'm perfect, but most things that I know about myself, I love. And so if I could do it, I believe that literally anyone could. And so I believe that you can. And I'm rooting for you.
Well,
So.
thank you. I appreciate that. I, I'll be happy when I can. Like Lana and I went to this event over the past weekend. I'll be happy when I can take pictures with people and not care about how I look in them. Like I took hardly any pictures over the weekend because I don't like how I look in pictures. So maybe I'll get there one day. I would love to get there by the time I'm at DragCon next month. We'll see. But
Right.
but I was going to say the complicated thing is there probably are some people who, if you tell them, "Oh my gosh, you look so good" after they lost weight, maybe that's what they want to hear. But
Yeah.
it's just such a fine line that it's probably not worth risking it. So I think there's better ways to compliment people for sure instead of making it about how they've changed.
Yeah.
I always like to compliment something that is like, I love your hair, or I love your outfit, or I love your shoes. Like something that is not related to their body.
Right.
Like, because hair is something you can change and it doesn't matter, like something. You know what I mean? But
I will say I'm 46 years old and I am still dealing with being comfortable with my body itself and because I'm a bigger girl, and so I know that everybody is not going to look at me like, oh, she's beautiful, oh, she's stunning, look,
You
that's not the
are.
thing. But and literally, I'm gonna tell you this: it took me being on this internet, and even though I was scared out of my life to do stuff like that and put myself out there when during COVID times to play these online games, I didn't want to do it because I thought people would talk about me, and people would call me ugly, and I had this blue eye, and she's too fat, she's too dark, she's too ugly, her teeth is messed up. All the things that I was saying about myself was keeping me from doing something. But it wasn't until I started, then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And people were like, oh, I like your blue eye. I think it's kind of cool. Oh, you're beautiful. You're stunning. We think you're fun. And people just liked me just for me. I was like, okay, well, maybe. Am I there yet? Oh, absolutely not. I am not completely there. You will not see me at the public pool. Like when we went out, David, I wasn't getting no pool, and I ain't care if it was 90 degrees outside. Absolutely not. Not around these people. But maybe I'll get comfortable enough where I'll feel comfortable enough to do that. But at this point, I'm just happy with the little stuff. I'll take the small steps where I feel comfortable enough to get on this podcast and say, hello, y'all, let's talk about it and not worry about people, what they think about me in my physical or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you'll get there, David. And like River say, we're rooting for you. I think you'll get there because honestly, you're hot. And everybody keeps telling you that. And I don't know what it's going to take for you to believe us when we say that. I must say, I don't know what's going to take for you to believe what people when we say it, but you are.
It's gonna take you believing it for yourself.
Yes, right, absolutely.
But even Bob the drag queen said, start with a tooth. You know what I mean? Like pick something that you like about yourself and be like, that's a nice tooth. You know what I mean? So like
your
literally
eyes.
Anything. Like
with your eyes,
my
David.
eyes, or like something. I don't know. Literally,
no, I'm literally giving you the one thing you can start with. Your eyes. Because your eyes are gorgeous.
But I got bags under my eyes all the time. They're puffy.
Well, but they're designer.
But that makes
they're boring brown.
That makes you distinguished.
Okay, I'll take it.
Mysterious.
Well, thank you all. I didn't mean to make it all about me.
Oh no.
I was gonna make it all about me again. Don't worry.
Oh, love that.
Well, no, since everyone else has shared their stories, I feel like I should share mine too. Because like I have dealt with body dysmorphia since I was a child. Like I was a bigger kid growing up. I almost had type 2 diabetes at the age of 8. Like I've always had body image issues. And it took me, especially being gay and being a bigger person. It is not easy by any means of the imagination. I get fat shamed on a weekly basis still. And it's one of those weird things. This is something I've never talked about on the podcast, but at this point I don't care because we're being open today. The one thing that literally got me to the point where I was like, okay, I actually don't hate the way that I look is doing porn. I've been doing it for a few years now, and I kind of started really liking myself. And it's been really nice to feel that way. Like I used to, like I would take a photo of myself and hate it. Regardless of what it was, I would hate it. And I've finally started to get to the point where I'm like, I don't hate that as much. It is a lifelong journey. And I know I don't have as many years as any of the three of you. And each one of us is on our own. Well, yes, old. All
Me
of
being
you.
1 year older.
Literally, but old. All of you. Old. The point
Delete
I want
old,
to make.
delete fat.
Delete it, bald. Anyway, the point I want to make is like every person's journey is different, and it's going to take a different thing for each one of us to get to a point. It's not even the point. It's never going to be the point. It's going to take a different thing for each of us to get to a point where we can look at ourselves and say, I don't hate that. And that is a start. Mm-hmm. Even just saying, I don't hate that. I don't dislike that.
Is great.
Neutrality is better than hating the way you look. Mm-hmm. And that is a big lesson that I've learned as well. It's like, okay, I don't dislike the way that I look in this. That's a start. And then layer on top of that, for me, being non-binary is like, cool, societal expectations about what that means. Literally, like, it's stupid. And none of us should worry about any of these things, but unfortunately we do, because it's societal expectations. The point is, you're all wonderful people, and each one of you watching this as well, if you don't like the way that you look, you will get to a point where you don't hate the way that you look. Get to a point. There's never going to be the point. Get to a point.
Just move towards that direction, and then just keep moving.
A singular point will lead to another one, to another one, to another one.
Yep. You are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring you down, because you are beautiful today.
Today.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you. But
And on that,
on that note, I think we should just go to,
I think
well,
we should finally go to the runway for a second.
period.
We wouldn't have much to talk about this episode because it's mostly looks.
Right.
I know.
Who knew?
But I want to talk about our beautiful, fabulous judges.
Tracy.
I can't.
The winner of this week's Judges
Tracy.
Maxi Challenge is Tracy Belshore. I'm sorry.
I
Like,
mean,
Tracy.
Brooke looks great. Brad looks
Yes.
great. And Lauren
Mhm.
Chan looked great.
yes.
But,
You look good in her aluminum foil dress. I like it.
right.
But Tracy. Mm.
Not the baked potato couture.
Baked
I was gonna
potato
say, was she
couture,
channeling-
baby.
Was she channeling Jiggly Caliente in this one? I hope so.
That's
I was
good.
gonna say, what's her name from Soiree, the first one out? Her promo.
Spottier?
Yeah.
Oh, Almighty Aphrodite.
That's
Oh.
Almighty Aphrodite.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
she's giving us baked potato couture. I like that a lot.
Potato couture.
Leftover couture.
Period.
I like that there's a belly button indent in it.
Right.
I'm obsessed with that. She is
I like that. And
so
then she got the
fun.
nipple rings on the thingies.
Oh, love
Mhm.
it. Love that.
Loved
Just
it.
on the Traders?
Was she
Or
on the
was she on
trader?
something?
That's where I know her. I was like,
She was
how-
on
why does she-
Traders Canada.
and she made it very far.
Very far.
Very, very,
Spoilers,
very far.
kid. Spoilers. Oh.
That's why I was like, she looks so familiar, but I
Yeah,
could
Yeah, she was
not
just
place
on
it.
the
I
Traders
said the
Canada
same
with Melinda
thing.
Verga.
That's
I was like, she looks
hilarious.
familiar. I don't know. But why?
Me being the one that's watched the least amount of that damn season, and I knew where she was from.
Child. Baby.
Um,
I know Netta. I know
Period.
Netta.
Period.
Oh, can we get Trina
Uh,
on next season then?
Oh my god, I would cry. I love Trina.
Yeah, we get Trina on there. But yeah,
Love
they look great. It's a great looking group. They ate.
And I'm
I like
glad
this blue
I'm
wig on Brooke.
Yes.
Mhm.
The teal with the like robin's egg blue puffer with the silver shoe. Like, it's cute. It's not one of my favorite things Brooke has ever worn.
No,
But she
But it's
looks
really
cute.
good. It's really
Looks
good.
really
I love
good.
those shoulders, like the big
Yeah.
like
The big puffer
swirls.
shoulders.
But the
Mhm.
shoulders should match them hips. But they don't. No, I'm kidding.
No, she,
I'm just
Brooke
making
ain't
a
finna
drag
give
race
you all
reference.
that. I was say Brooke ain't finna give you all that.
And I appreciate I do love this judging panel with gratitude. I have to circle back to Melinda Verga, sorry. So let me circle back to Melinda Verga. Anyway, obviously we are going to talk about the looks over on Look Over Here, but this is the challenge. So we're going to talk about our results and who we think should have been in the top of the bottom. So someone start. I don't care who it is.
David
Can I
starts.
just say
Oh,
one
oh,
thing before
River
we
start.
get into it?
Yeah.
Two things. If you don't know how to, I'm a beginner sewer, very much beginner. So I have a few thoughts. If you don't know how to sew, there are many ways that with your choices you can make your life easier or harder. And a lot of the girls that didn't know how to sew made choices that made their life even harder, like the
Yeah.
choice of fabric, the choice of design, and just many other things. And also, you can learn how to sew an inside seam and then like the trim of an outfit,
Mhm.
like the basic of just doing like a base, a tube dress in like 3 to 5 hours. 3 to 5 hours. So like you don't need to like, because they had that conversation about like not knowing how to sew, whatever. Like you don't need to take a sewing course or something. But if you literally take 1 6-hour class, literally just that, and learn how to make a tube dress, you're going to be able to do other stuff and just make your life easier. And then when you pick fabrics, don't pick a fabric that is hard to work with or doesn't stretch or whatever. Like there's so many things. And so it was just frustrating because especially Michaela. I was just like, girl, you're not making your life easier. You're just anyway, it was just frustrating. I just wanted to say that because it was just Sanjina as well with the fabric choice. Like, hello. Anyway. Do any of y'all want to start with the tops and bottoms? Because I just wanted to say that because it was.
Yeah, I can give mine. So
Mhm.
I'll keep it pretty simple and sweet with the bottoms. I'll just say I think they got them right. I think the three people in the bottom came up with the worst design looks. So nothing to complain about with the judging there. As far as the tops go, it's so complicated for me because initially my gut instinct is I was judging it off of which looks I liked the best. But that's not really what the challenge is. It is like you're making something very specific that is easily like can be duplicated and made in a very easy way and marketed in such a way. My favorite three looks, I will say, was Xana for sure was my favorite look. I loved Xana's look. When she was called safe, I was like, what? And then I had to think about it later on. I'm like, okay, well, she made a very couture look, which is not the challenge. I don't think I would have cared. I think I still would have had her in the top at least. But Xana, Jaylene, and Perla had my favorite design looks. But I do think Minnie and Helena had the looks that fit the challenge the best, even if they weren't like, wow, I love those looks. So it is complicated, but I think I would have made a compromise and kept Helena and Minnie based on them really fitting the brief of the challenge, but I would have kept Xana in there because it just looks so dang good, and I wanted her to get critiques for it because it was so good.
Fair.
I think for the bottom, I think they got it right. I think, yeah, I would probably keep the bottom as the bottom, the way they were. For the top, for me, it would have been for the challenge that was given. It would have been Minnie, it would have been Helena, and it would have been Jaylene. I think they had the most marketable, and I thought theirs was, yeah. And for me, the winner would have been Jaylene, though. If I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have had Jaylene win the whole thing because I think her look was the marketable and it looked the best. Like it looked.
Both looks were good.
They were both good, and I think she just nailed this challenge. She would have won it for me because I think it was just good. Now, as far as Xana's look, I do think her look was good. It wasn't marketable. It wasn't my favorite though. Like I'm not as high up as you were about it. It was good though. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I just felt like it wasn't marketable. You couldn't sell it anyway. It would take too much to make it, and it was too complicated for a easy to grab and go kind of outfit. But I thought it was good. I thought it was good, and it was okay. And the same thing with Virgo's look. I thought it was good. It was a little simple, but it was good. So I had no complaints about the people that were safe. I thought safe was fine for them in that moment.
And Perla.
And Perla, you know what? Complicated with Perla's design challenge. I think her first look I like way, way better than I like her second look. And I felt like her second look wasn't as marketable, but it was put together nicely. But I don't think it's marketable. Like I wouldn't want to wear that stuff dripping and hanging off me like if I'm looking for a ready to wear and go kind of outfit, that wouldn't be the outfit I would grab first. It was cute, but I don't think it was the mark. I wouldn't have Perla safe.
I'm definitely entering for the raffle for that first look though.
That first look, I love that. If I had $10 right now, I would do it too. Like, Perla, let me get in there.
Right.
That's good. That was a good one.
Right. I actually disagreed with the tops and the bottoms.
Okay.
And I really, really don't want to say my bottom three. I really don't want to. I'm going to, but I really don't want to because my bottom three would have been Sanjina, Michaela, and Virgo. And I really don't want to admit that, but that would have been my bottom three, unfortunately, given both categories. And for me, what puts Virgo below Uma, who would have been that like low safe, but still called safe, for me, is I did not care for Virgo's slow-mo look as much. And I loved Uma's ostrich. I loved Uma's ostrich so much. So for me, if I'm balancing everything together, it unfortunately would have been Sanjina, Michaela, and Virgo for me, which I hate saying because those are literally three of my favorites.
Right.
And they all collectively struggled in this challenge, and I hate it, and it makes me sad, and I want to throw up saying it. But as far as the tops are concerned, my top three would have been Perla, Jaylene, and Minnie. I really think, and the more that I think about it too, I think I would have given the win to Perla, honestly. I really like her first look. I am obsessed with. I think her second look is very fashionable for now. I think the way that she approached fast drag fashion was very smart. And so for me, it would have either been Perla or Jaylene. I think Minnie was very, very good, but for me, Minnie was a close third. And special shout out to Xana's fast fashion look, because while it was a great look, fast fashion, it was not. But it was a very good look.
Very good.
I agree with a lot of what all of you said, because I'm also conflicted with like my favorite looks, but then what fits the theme, and then considering the looks that they made a little bit more than the looks that they brought. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So mostly I agree with the results. There are like the things that I would have changed aren't by a hair. It's not like by much. So I kind of like, I agree. I'm not mad. But I think I would have had Perla in the top. Instead of who else was in the top? Oh, instead of Helena. And then I agree with you, Logan. I would have had Virgo in the bottom. For the same
And I
reason.
hate saying that. I don't like it, but yeah.
I also hate it, but you know what I mean? I also hated Uma in the bottom. So like this season is hard because I like all of them. But yeah, that would have been that for me.
Yeah. The more that I think about it too, the person I actually would have had as like the lowest of the safe, I think actually was Helena. I did not love her first look, I'll be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't love.
I wasn't a fan of the first look either for Helena, which is
concept
unfortunate.
Great, execution lacking.
I think it was too many layers.
And then for me, her fast fashion look was good, and it is fast drag fashion. It was so simple, and having like I do like the detailing that she added to make it more her, but that made it less marketable for me. So it was like this back and forth where like I really would have had her just like safety, safe, because I just like so much going on that I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm thinking now. You got me thinking, and I'm switching because I'm thinking my top three probably would have been Jaylene, Minnie, and Perla, because that first look, I think, does it more for me than Helena's first look.
And I'm not trying to convince people against Helena.
No, and it's not. No. I love Helena, and Helena knows I love Helena, and I know you watching, and she knows how much I love her because I told her she's fabulous. But I think she was definitely safe for me, like that, safe in the right, safe. But her second look was really, really good, and it was. But I think Perla's first look, like, edged it up for me above Helena's look.
I'm really curious where our scores are going to actually
I don't even know what my scores are going to say.
But what I do know is that I still think Jaylene should have won.
Oh, Jaylene should have won to me. No disrespect to Minnie, because I think Minnie's first look was great, fabulous.
Oh yeah,
fabulous. And I think she did the job and she hit the brief on the nail for the fast fashion. Like she hit it, and it was good, and it fit, and it was beautiful. But I feel like Jaylene's first and second look was just outrageously over the top. Beautiful. Outrageously beautiful.
It's kind of weird because the top 3 that we did end up having, it's like 3 people that it's like, okay, you all 3 have done so well throughout the competition so far.
Yeah.
And it feels like each of them should have a win by now. So either way, it was going to be like, oh, I'm happy you finally got your win.
It feels
But
like
then the
everyone
other-
should have a win at this point. Everyone, like,
But I mean,
all of these girls are doing so well.
I would say especially the 3 that we had there, because they've each been in the top 3 out of the 4 weeks, I think now.
Right.
Or, I think so. Well, or
Between
not.
Helena, Jaylene, and Minnie.
Maybe not. But
Minnie, I believe this is her second.
you're right. She
Yeah.
should have been in the top the first week for me. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah. So I'm glad with how it went, but I'm still rooting for other people to get their deserved wins.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not mad at the outcome, but and we'll talk about it, but I just would have had things a little bit differently. And that's why I love doing what we do here, because we can talk about our differences and how we find things differently. But before we talk about the results, oh boy, darling, divas, angels of life, we got to talk about this Untucked.
Oh, but we got to get a winner before we get Untucked.
We got to get a winner before Untucked.
There was also a comment, because with the normally there's not much during like the judges' comments and feedbacks, but this time, this is why I love Brooke so much. Her playing and like bantering with the girls is so great, because when she was talking to Michaela said like, oh, I was in my head like thinking about what my drag family would have done in this situation, and then Brooke said, I'm gonna tell you exactly what they would have done. Your mother would have made an entire collection, and your sister would have made a bra and panty. And
Correct.
Exactly. I wrote that down too.
Correct.
She clocked, absolutely clocked. And that was just,
and somehow Michaela falls right in the middle between the two of them, and that's a little interesting.
Exactly.
The only other thing I had before the Untucked that stood out to me, and this is the second time I've noticed it, Sangina, anytime she's on the stage and Brooke talks to her and acknowledges her, she gets so excited. She becomes like a little kid. She's like, oh my gosh, Brooklyn's talking to me, and it's so freaking adorable. Like,
it's endearing.
Yeah, I
love Sangina.
I'd be the same way.
Yeah. I forget that we have to get results before we talk about it. Canada's different. Oh, I am so muscle memory that I'm like, yep, no, we do Untucked, and then we get results, and then we do a lip. No. Canada's got to be different.
Canada said no. Canada said we different. We different.
Canada said
we different.
I'm gonna hold on to the silky finger and say nope. But yes, we do get our top 3 being Helena, Jaylene, and Minnie. Again, not mad. Not mad. I love all 3 of these queens, so not mad.
3 of my favorites for sure.
This cast is 11 of my favorites, so it's been really difficult. And I'm not just saying that because they've been really nice to us. And we get.
I mean, we liked the cast before they were being nice to us.
Right, we really did.
True.
We did.
Correct.
Minnie
wins.
Good job on Minnie.
I'm happy because I think she had my favorite look of the night, so I'm happy.
The first look. God,
baby.
it was breathtaking.
Hearing her talk so candidly as well with the judges also about like wanting to include something that showed off her natural body, and then Lauren going, "That's what they all say."
That's what they all say.
Love her.
Is it natural?
Love her.
But also, someone mentioned of her doing like the 2 ends of the spectrum, kind of with gender, and being like,
I think it was.
I'm gonna show this side and then this side. I think it was
I'm gonna show a more. I don't remember who it was. It was like I'm gonna show the more masculine side.
Let's pause and figure out who said it.
No, let's not.
Please leave in the comments if you know which one said it.
I really believe it was the guest. I think it was the guest judge, though. But yeah,
I think it was Brad.
Stop it, David. On Tracy.
Stop it, y'all! Just stop it. Anyway, Minnie did what she needed to do. She ate
Period.
that up. She did
Mhm.
do
Yes.
the opposite ends of the spectrum, giving us very masculine, very feminine, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful both ways. And I was very happy for Minnie because, like I said, Minnie, I just love the way Minnie
I'm
talks.
obsessed with her.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what it is. I could just
Mhm.
sit and
It's-
listen to Minnie talk to me forever about anything, and I just like,
It's the Australian charisma, honestly.
it's so
That's what it is.
good.
Like there is
Oh.
such a charisma about queers and drag artists from Australia, and that's why I've always loved Down Under so much. Like there's just this sensibility about her, and this like she obviously cares so much, but she acts like she doesn't have a care in the world, and that's like, and it's all she's just taking the piss out of everything, and I love it. Like it's so
Usually-
fun to see in this context too.
You said all that, and that's not what it is. No, it's the
Okay.
richness in her tone and
Oh, well,
how
that-
she just speaks. It's literally that for me. It's not about the charisma
Okay.
or the. It's just the richness of her tone, and I'm just like, I just really like it. I just really like
Fair.
it. So yeah.
And for me, it's the abs.
Uh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Shocker.
No. I'm not a
No,
big
but
abs person.
No,
Um,
you did. David did say about the tone too, the voice.
Right.
We
It
just
really
love
is.
the voice.
But also, I want to pick up something that I alluded to earlier, where I said, oh, okay, I think I know where the bottom two is going to be. I think it's going to be Sanjina and
Let's see
Minnie.
how wrong you were.
And let me tell you, until we saw the look that she made, that whole span of time where I was thinking that was going to be the bottom two, my mind was going crazy and I was grieving the inevitable loss that we were about to have with Minnie, because I thought Minnie was going home and I was devastated. And then I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to miss this exit interview with Minnie and I want to be there for Minnie. And I would you all have no idea how upset I was watching this whole episode thinking Minnie was going home. And then I got the complete opposite thing. And I'm still very upset with who went home, but I'm so glad that Minnie's still here.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great, and she deserved.
Yes. And we end up with an absolutely tragic bottom three. Shocker. Again. Every bottom three is going to be
Every was
tragic.
tragic. I hate it.
And it's
My
Michaela,
team is
Sanjina, and Uma.
having a rough
Yeah.
Yeah, this is rough. This is rough, baby.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now let's talk about Untucked, y'all.
Yes.
And we start with Xana being Xana.
Love.
Is this a place to learn? Or is
Live,
this
laugh,
not?
and love.
This is
Yeah.
this is not RuPaul's School for Girls.
Baby, this moment right here, I was like, Xana,
Don't.
Xana, don't, not right now. Like
Mm-mm.
Xana, don't, especially don't do that to Jaylene. Like, don't
Do that to Mother.
Mother
Not
was just
Mother.
like, I have learned some things. It's so nice to come in and be a part of this, and I've learned along the way. And she's like, but is this the way you should learn? You should learn that here. Like, you should already know. I was just like, Xana, don't. Xana,
And I love
don't,
that
not
even
right now. And I-
Jaylene will clock her shit too. She's like,
Xana was like,
Mhm.
Xana was
and
like,
Jaylene in confessional is just like, okay, well, it wasn't. You said it wasn't directed at me, but clearly, it's also directed at me.
I feel.
And I also know
very
it's directed
pungent.
at the girls in the bottom that hot glued their outfits. But like,
Mhm.
why are you bringing me into this?
Okay, I agree with both points, honestly, because I do think you need to come into the show prepared. Like, it's been on for years and years and
With
years. If you don't know,
Right? You don't need to be an expert on everything, but you need to know
exactly
the basics
that's
of
exactly
what
where
goes into the show.
Mhm. That's where I was going with this. I do think that there is room to learn, but how big is the learning curve? Like, I can see like you're learning some subtle things, but if you're learning and you're starting from scratch at drag race like 1.0, like the basics that have been going on the TV shows since 2008, then yeah, I agree with Xana. This is not the place to do that. But there are subtle things that you can learn, like and I'm sure that Xana also learned things in her journey. So there's kind of a middle ground, and I think maybe both of them were thinking on the extreme ends of it.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
see both perspectives for
I
sure.
agree with you because I feel the same way. I'm like, I always say it on everything. Like, if you're going to Survivor, you should know how to swim. If you're going on Amazing Race, you need to know how to drive stick. It's just things you should know to do going on these shows and knowing the competition. But I think it was the way she said it and how it came off. It was just like, girl, no. First of all, you're safe. You're safe. You honestly don't have a
And
dog in
clearly,
this fight.
she is safe.
Right. You had no dog in this fight. You honestly didn't need to go there. But because you wanted TV time, you had to go there. And it was just like, But I get it. I understand it. And I'm here for it. I am here for it. But I'm just like, not the Jaylene. Santa don't. But I get it. I get it.
And I love that Michaela was like, okay, moving on. It's
Right,
she was
like, girl,
knew it was directed at her. Because Michaela knew. When Zena
Everybody-
said, like, Jaylene, it's not about you, Michaela was like, okay, then it's about me, bitch. I know.
Right.
I know.
Everybody knows.
There's an ongoing theme. I don't know if you all have noticed, but each week on Twitter, Xana is always saying, I should have won episode 3. I should have won episode 4. And I'm living for it every week.
I love as much as
she's playing into it. She knows what she's doing. I live.
She knows what she's doing. I'm here for it.
She might be playing an absolute CUNT on TV, but like she's so fun. She's just so. I'm glad that like and I mean again we keep comparing her to the Plain Lady, but
she does it better. She does it better.
I do love that we're realizing that Xana is just like a dumb, stupid human at the end of the day, and I mean that in the best way.
You know what it is? Xana is like she's seemingly naturally, she's doing what Plain Jane thought she was doing. You know what I mean?
She's in on the joke.
Xana is succeeding at something that Plain Jane thought she was doing, but she wasn't. She was doing something else.
Plain didn't know when to stop.
Xana gets it.
Plain didn't know when to stop, and she made it too personal. Xana takes it to as far as she can get it, and then she'll pull back. So she might be see you next Tuesday on another, in on TV, but she shows every time that that's not all I am. This is fun. Y'all in on the joke. I'm in on the joke. We good. And everybody who has left that show or who is in the show still say the same thing about Xana. Like they still love it. People don't like Plain. It's people who still don't like her. So it goes to show the levels of See You Next Tuesdays that happen on the show.
And I'm glad that the world is finally getting to see all the shit that she did at the Bring Back My Girls at DragCon.
Oh, I didn't see the second part. I wanna. Let's see it.
I heard the things while we were there. Shout out to Rachel, friend of the pod. But we get the bottom 3 girls pleading their case.
Yes,
and it's 3 very different pleads.
3 different pleads.
It's Uma talking about her ostrich that she's held on to since she auditioned for season 1.
I love that story. I love that story, and I was a fan of Uma for telling us and was like, I held on to this. I'm very proud of this ostrich, which she should because it was amazing. And she was like, I put it in there. The first time I auditioned and I didn't get it, I put it up and I said, I'm not going to pull it back out until I get on the show. And here she is on the show and she got to pull it out. And I love that full circle moment for her. I was like, I'm here for it. Good argument. Even though everybody else was like,
right.
Everyone.
The side thing that I was loving, like every time we got Uma or Michaela making a plead, was the cuts to the confessionals from Sangina, basically like, whatever.
Girl, please.
Girl. And you couple all of that with the constant wide shots and getting Perla's reaction faces. Perla is all of us, because when Michaela starts giving her plea as well, and she's like, when she finishes her plea, Perla just goes,
and what you may not have realized, she was actually giving a standing ovation in that moment.
Oh, shut up, David.
Don't do that to our Perla,
David.
No, Perla is the first one to make short jokes about herself.
I know.
I know.
So stupid, but shut up, David.
That's going to give you the liberty to do it yourself.
I love it, though. I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, wait. What was so... Okay. I will say this, and I want to talk about Michaela's plea because I've seen people online come up with Michaela gave me whiplash. I don't know what she's doing. Where's she coming from? I know exactly what she was doing and where she was coming from. Because at first, she was trying to give the answer that she thought everybody wanted. She wanted to be that bad bitch. She wanted to be that, I'm Michaela Couture, and you go
and
save
you're going
me.
to save me.
And you're going to save me. She wanted
and we lived.
And we lived in that moment. But then in her mind, she was like, why am I trying to be that? Because they expect me to be this strong Black woman who got to be strong and independent. And I don't feel that way right now. So I'm going to say how I really feel. So she took it back and was like, no, I'm sick of fighting. I'm tired of fighting. I fight every single day for the littlest things. I'm tired of fighting and I just want to be saved. One time in my life, can I just be saved? Because it's hard to be me. And that's what she was saying. And I was like, yeah, in that moment, in the first part, she thought she had to be that strong Black woman because that's what everybody expects her to be. And then it was like, but why? Nah, and I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And so she changed it and said, no, let me show you who I am and tell you the truth. I'm sick of fighting. I don't want to fight. I don't want to do it today. I fought to get through this challenge because it was hard enough for me because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tired. I don't want to do it.
I've got all of the pressure of my mother not only being a winner, but being an accomplished seamstress. And probably most of the girls in that workroom have something made or at least assisted by ISIS. Let's be real. And then on top of that, not doing well in the challenge, spiraling the day prior. And what I do understand why people are saying whiplash. That has nothing to do with Michaela, and that has everything to do with the way that this episode was edited. Yeah. Because what people don't always realize, and y'all should realize this by now, if you're a Drag Race fan, quotes very appropriately used here for the word fan, you should know Untucked lasts way longer than we see it. It is a much longer period of time that is cut into at maximum 5 minutes. So I understand.
It's 3 days actually.
Oh, good. Great. Love it. But there's just, I hate you. There's like, I get why people were like, oh, whiplash, because we see Michaela being like, I'm Michaela Couture and you're going to save me. And then we get Sanjina giving her plea. And then we see Michaela immediately right after. And I understand, but that's on the editors. Don't come for Michaela for that. She has nothing to do with that. She had those two separate moments. They needed to push everything together. Now, how much time was between those moments? I don't think we will ever know. But
even if it was 5 minutes,
even if it was 5 minutes,
on each other.
She may have had a she may have had a split-second decision. She may have taken a few minutes. Regardless, the point is, both of those feelings are valid. Just as much as Sanjina's feelings of like, and I didn't love this from Sanjina, I'll be real, but her in confessional being like, well, this is my moment. This is my moment. And I get it. And I understand. And it comes down from, Minnie kind of asks the other girls who they would save. Right. And a lot of the girls are saying Jaylene, or are saying Sanjina.
And that's the catalyst. That's where the change happens.
Exactly. And Jaylene is the one that is saying, I would save Sanjina because I'm so close to her. Jaylene was in a lose-lose situation.
Yes.
A lose-lose-lose situation because it did not matter who she said. One of the other trans women was going to be upset with her. Like, it did not matter who she said.
I don't think she'll be upset.
I don't know if upset's the right word.
I don't think upset's the right word. I think hurt.
I don't think upset's the right word either.
No, and
I think hurt would have been the word because it would have been like, that's like you saying, Lana, who you like between David and Logan. I'm like, they're both my friends, and who am I going to pick?
David.
I'm not doing that. River.
Say their name.
River.
Okay.
But no.
I'll accept that answer.
But like, that's just a rock and a hard place. Like, you don't want to ever be put in that situation. And if you do have to pick between somebody, the two people you really love the most or care about, it's like, I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings if I do this.
Exactly.
So I don't think she was mad at Jaylene. I think she was just hurt that it wasn't her. And because I think Michaela also felt like Jaylene's word probably meant a lot more than some of the other girls. Like Jaylene has some.
Jaylene is the elder.
She is the elder, and she's mother, and we know how we look at our elders. We like that word means a lot more to some of us than certain people. So
and I do really appreciate also after Michaela gives her second speech, Perla being like, "I can't fault anything you just said. I would be Michaela," and I'm like, I love that. I love that. I understand why they get asked who they would save in this scenario because it was literally like you're literally comparing apples, oranges, and citrus fruits, like or apples, bananas, and citrus fruits,
right?
Like, it's like you're comparing three different things because each one of them excelled in certain parts of this challenge, didn't excel in other parts of this challenge, and also have excelled at other parts of this competition. So it's not an easy. I do not envy Minnie in the slightest, or I feel real bad for her.
She'd probably like, isn't this supposed to be all stars making decisions, not us first timers?
But I thought she was gonna pick Uma before they went to Untucked, because when Minnie was called the winner, like they hugged, like Uma and Minnie would like.
Oh yeah, because Minnie won a trip to Montreal, and she was like, "Ooh, I'll come visit."
I was like, okay, are they closer than what we saw? And I was like thinking that Minnie was gonna save Uma, and then we went to Untucked, and all that happened, and I was like, okay, now I have no idea.
I think it's just because Uma's the only girl this season from Montreal.
Yeah.
So I think that was just like, oh, I'll come visit. Cool. We do ultimately find out that she does not save Uma, nor does she save Sanjina. She does save Michaela.
Yeah,
I'm happy for Michaela.
I was happy, but I was shocked. I honestly thought she was going to save Sanjina only because of the last week's slay off. Yeah. And that she won so many could be saved. And I'm pretty sure that's what Sanjina was thinking too, was like, she's gonna save me because my win saved her. So I thought that was what's going to happen. But I think maybe Michaela just being honest and breaking down and like, look, I'm tired, kind of got to Minnie and was like, I get it. You're tired. I'm tired. And
it's also a difficult situation for Minnie to be in as a queen of color as well, because you've got two queens of color and a queen and Uma, who it seems like she is fairly close with as well. So like for Minnie, it's a lose situation as well. Yeah. I am ultimately happy that it was Michaela because based on track record, Michaela does have the strongest track record currently. So if it did ultimately have something to do with that as well, I think it definitely had a lot to do with Michaela and her vulnerability. A lot of people online are also saying that this felt rigged. It doesn't feel for me personally.
I didn't feel rigged. It didn't feel rigged to me.
We knew people were going to say this was rigged for Michaela online, just based on who her mother and her sister is. Whatever. The point is, I didn't feel that at all. It felt like a very genuine decision because even Minnie's demeanor giving the decision was like, oh. Like it was it's not an easy decision. We do end up with Uma and Sanjina as our bottom two, lip syncing to Contemporary Love by Rev. Now, I did not know this song. I'm obsessed with this song and I added it immediately to my playlist. And I think it was a really good song. And a pretty good lip sync.
Can I just say something before we get started?
Sure.
They do it for Mexico. So why can we not do it for other franchises? Why can we not let the girls change and get into something that they can lip sync in better?
I said.
Because I really think that was a make or break aspect of this lip sync. Is the fact that Sanjina was in a look that she was not able to properly lip sync in without it falling apart. And that's really unfortunate because I know that she's capable of really killing it in a lip sync. And I wish we would have gotten to see that to its full potential. But she was focusing on, especially as a trans woman, she is having to keep herself covered. Like, I absolutely understand that. And she was getting her heel caught in parts of her look. Yeah. So it was really unfortunate. I think she did really well despite all of that. But I will say on the other end of the spectrum, I'm so surprised by Uma in lip syncs. Like, this is the second week in a row where I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, why are you so much better at lip syncing than I expect? I was just so into what she was
You know
doing
what
here.
I think? Does she also kind of remind you of maybe Nina West? And maybe that's why we thought, because Nina is
I
not
could see
really,
that. Like
maybe,
you
or
don't
maybe
really
it's just
think
like
of
the
camp,
feeling.
or
Yeah, the
like
camping.
like church clown type of queens,
Yeah.
as she alluded to on our Instagram.
Go follow us on Instagram at the Cup Pod. You might be able to interact with the Canada's Drag Race girl today. Dang. But
I have to go look at that for real.
it was so good. It's so good. I love Uma. Shout out to Uma for being the Cup's 5th follower on Blue Sky, by the way. You can also follow us on Blue Sky at the Cup Pod. Like, it's one of those cute things. No, I did enjoy this lip sync. Obviously, Sanjina was very, very impeded by the fact that her outfit didn't work. That is ultimately what I believe to be the reason she didn't win the lip sync. But that is not to at all discredit what Uma did, because Uma, for me, actually gives a lot of the same lip sync energy as someone like Ben de la Creme, where Ben is really fun and really playful and understands the song that she's performing. And we've seen 2 drastically different lip syncs now from Uma, and I'm not necessarily saying I want to see Uma in the bottom more, but I'm really intrigued to see what else she can do with other songs. Like, it feels like she takes in a song and then interprets it through this like stoned auntie at a wedding vibe. And I mean that with all the respect in the world.
Auntie.
Unofficial auntie, for those who are, well, for those who are, I don't remember the lyric. Anyway,
Unofficial auntie to those who
are neglected.
Yes, I think that's it.
I'm gonna go with neglected, and if it's not, Uma, let me know. But like, she really does give this auntie energy in lip syncs where it's kind of awkward and it's kind of weird, but it also really works with what she's performing with. Like, Uma is so much more complex as a performer and as a drag artist than I ever would have expected. She, for me, is the most pleasant surprise so far on this season.
Oh,
as
absolutely.
As overall performance. Like, every single week and every single thing she's performed and shown up on the runway in, every single thing has been different. I do not know what to expect from Uma God, and I love that.
Yeah.
She's keeping me on my toes, and I'm excited to see more.
I need to see Uma in a park and bark situation in a ballad. I need to see
spoken
Uma.
word.
As well. I need a ballad. I need her to give me one of those Celine Dion just built out ballads, so I could see what she would do with something like that. With just because we've seen what she does with the song that, like, last week, the Slay Off, I would have never expected her to do so well in Hazel Road. Like, never. But she ate it up. And I was like, you go. And then in this lip sync, I was like, what? Uma, she has great musicality. And that's what it is. She, like you said, she takes in the song, she embodies the song. When she learns the song, she's like, okay, what is this feeling? How do I feel? The mood it gives me, all the energy that this song gives me. And she just takes it and gives us in the best Uma God way that she could do it. And I'm like, oh my God. Look, she literally makes me go, oh my God. Oh my God.
I did love Sanjina's impersonation of her in the lip sync during.
We're doing this. But she did it, and it was like, but I like it. I don't know.
And then you
Uma just does what she does, and it was great to see her do it. I agree. If Sanjina didn't have the wardrobe malfunctions happening, it would have been a different story. I think she probably could have did something else, but I don't know if it would have been as, like, I'm not saying Sanjina would have wiped the floor with Uma, because I think it would have just been closer. It just would have been closer, but I'm not counting Uma out at all for these lip
No.
syncs.
No. And you
Uma
contrast that
seemed-
with
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, love.
No, because I was just listening to y'all because you were not like I was the only one that was here to talk about the lip sync from the last episode. So what you all were saying kind of is how you all said it in your own words, but it's very similar to how I described what I thought about her lip sync last week, and it kind of is mirrored here, kind of the same comment, which is freedom and joy. Because that's how I feel. Because what I said about her last lip sync of Had to Roll, that she took me to like my rave days when you're waiting for that one DJ to come on and then it starts playing. You just dance like no one's watching and you don't care what you look like and you're just having fun. And when someone is having fun on stage, I'm having fun watching. And Uma is just having fun, but also doing great moves. You know what I mean? It's just like it's very much like you said, Logan. Like when I dance with my like older cousins and aunties at weddings or family reunions, that's how we dance. Like we are just so free and comfortable, and we just dance like no one's watching, and it's great.
Right.
And just but she also looks great doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like bad moves. It's just the feeling of freedom, but also the moves seem intentional because they work with the song. And it's like she's doing that specific song because a lot of girls, like Georges, for example, is a great dancer, but when she does a song, like she kind of does the same thing for every song. Like, you know what I mean? Like just different variations and placement.
Punch that ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
Punch that
And
ghost.
Uma seems like she performs each song in their like in a specific way that song asks for. So I love Uma. So I'm so happy I chose
You're preaching
her.
the truth,
Love.
River.
You are.
You're preaching the truth, River. That's all right.
I think one of my favorite things I saw on social media last week was there's a very like famous video that has circled the internet for I don't know how long of these like scene kids like dancing and and people are like, that's Uma. And I was like, why is that so accurate?
Very bad.
But see, like you said, when you dance like you free and you ain't nobody watching, that's when you have so much fun and like the freedom, like you talked about. That's the best. And I love that for Uma. Dance like you free, y'all. Period.
Yeah.
We did lose in China.
Yeah, Uma does win the lip sync. And we lose our darling angel, Sanjina. And oh god. Every elimination sucks.
Everyone's
this season is gonna be emotional.
I have never in my entire life wanted a regular season of a Drag Race program to be a non-elimination season. Never in my life have I ever wanted this more. Like it just every single one of these girls is just so talented and deserves to show all of their talent on TV.
I think the closest for me was Down Under season 3. That's the only time a whole cast I was like, I love them all and I want them all to stay on my TV every week. So
but this goes beyond like personal bias because I will say like Down Under 3, it was because we had a really good connection with them, not because they were all like amazing in challenges, but I could see a world where pretty much everybody from this season makes it to the top 4. Like it's like if you named anybody that's left in the competition, including Sanjina, and said, "Oh, they're in the top 4," I'd be like, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense."
I believe that.
I would put Tara and Tiffany in that conversation too.
Absolutely,
I really would.
Any 4 would be all right to be in the top 4, and I'd be like, "Yep, that makes sense."
You could Brant steal this season 40 times, give us 40 different results, and I would be like, "Yeah, that tracks." Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just what it is.
They're just also good. They're also good
as a proud and recently inducted member into Dibish Nation.
Period.
I just truly appreciate Sanjina for everything that she brought to this season. Her culture, her experience, her story, her growth, her vulnerability, her energy.
She's generous with it.
She's generous with it.
Her generosity. Her smile, the warmth that she gives, like just She is a star, and
Mhm.
I cannot wait to see her back on Drag Race. It will happen,
I agree.
and I'm so excited to see it.
And I do want to bring this up because we talked about it earlier, and we talked about how she won the mini challenge, and she got her $2,000,
Oh,
and
thank
she
you.
said, that was going for her titty fund, and
Mhm.
I
Titty
was like,
fun.
her titty fund. I was like, good for you,
Uh,
girl. But and here is where again I'm like, Xana. I said
Do.
Xana don't, but this is time when Xana do. Xana raised $5,000 more to
Oh.
go into Sanjina's titty fund and to help her feel better about herself. And I love that. The fact that Xana felt the need and the desire to do that is
Mhm.
amazing in itself, but it also shows how close and connected this group of girls are and how they feel about each other. Because honestly, she could have easily just not, and it would have been fine. I don't think Sinjana would have thought any differently of anybody if they didn't. But the fact that she was like, I want you to get
Mhm.
the surgery that you desire. I want you to get everything that you want to make you feel good. Because I know Xana probably was like, yeah, I probably said something to trigger some things in her. And that's, like you said, David, the difference. And we can tell
Mhm.
where her core is that she can push something and know when to pull it back.
Mhm.
That is what I appreciate about Xana. And I love that she did this for Sanjina. It is the nicest thing you could have done, and it's the sweetest thing. And Xana, you look, Xana, you know how I be rolling, but I applaud you. I give you your flowers. You are an amazing queen with a beautiful heart, and
Mhm.
I appreciate you for
Yeah.
for doing that. And you didn't even do it for me, but I
Yeah.
appreciate you for doing that for
Mhm.
Sanjina because that's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's just beautiful.
She's an
It's
angel, but
She is an
she's
angel.
a spicy angel, is what
She's
she is.
right. She is a
But we see your true
spicy.
colors, girl. We
We
see
see, but
them.
I love it. I love a spicy, a
Mhm.
spicy angel, and with your prickly rose, honey, and I love it. I love
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will always defend Xana, and she keeps proving exactly why. Like from the
Mhm.
Meet the Queens, I'm like, I see that she is a very kind, generous person.
Absolutely.
Even if sometimes it doesn't appear that way superficially, but
Yeah.
she's got a heart of gold.
And
Yeah.
if you want to check out, and you should check out our exit interview with Sanjina, you should check that out because Sanjina talks
Mhm.
about this very much and very takes to heart, and she's talks about Xana
Tearful
and her
moment.
relation, tearful about her relationship with Xana and how she's giving Xana the praise and the flowers that she deserves. Let's give our queens the flowers now while they can accept it. And Xana, you deserve these flowers, girl. You ate that up. I love
Yeah.
that for you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Sanjina, you know, and you you
You
called
already
all of
know.
us. We are all Dibish Nation, and we love
Period.
you so fiercely.
Mhm.
You already know, but we're letting the
You
internet
already
know
know.
again. You already know.
You are part of the Cup family, Sanjana.
Period.
Yay. We love you here. But
Well, that doesn't do any fun
Oh
things for
no.
some
oh.
people's drafts.
I'm leaving.
River. Oh, River, no.
Well, what's kind of interesting about this draft is we had 6 people participate in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've
Mm-hmm.
had 3 queens leave,
Yep.
but 5 of us in the draft have lost a person. 5 of us.
Wow.
That means that that's because Sanjina and Tiffany were both drafted by 2 different people. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody's down to 2 people except for one of us. But the draft right now is River in 6th place with 25.5 points, Lana in 5th place with 29.5 points, Logan in 4th place with 32 points, Eduardo in 3rd place with 34 points, I'm in 2nd place with 37 points, and Brandon is in 1st place with 41 points. And even though I'm in 2nd place, I am the person that still has all of my people.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Who do I have again, if you don't mind? Because every time I forget.
I know.
There's so
You
many of them.
You have Minnie,
Mm-hmm.
and you also have Michaela, and you did have Tara.
Oh, okay. All right,
Mhm.
right. Okay. Yeah. I'm still happy. Happy.
I have Virgo and somebody.
Yes, you have Virgo. You did have Tiffany, but
Yes,
you
I sure did.
also have Jaylene. So good team.
Oh, yes, mother.
Mm-hmm.
Mother.
Work.
Mother.
Yep.
And next week, I'm disappointed because it's girl groups. I want to see Tiffany
Or Sangina.
and
Oh.
Sandrina and Tara.
And Tara.
And Tara, obviously.
Not the same, because
I'm
I
really
don't know
excited.
if Tara is a dancer, but if I want to see what she would have done either way. I don't know.
She's a good performer.
She's a
good
performer.
Okay,
She's a good performer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting these like 90s style girl groups, which I think is going to be a really
which I
interesting
love.
touch.
Whoa.
It's something a little
Okay.
bit different, and I'm glad to see it.
Love it.
So I'm excited for
I
girl
like
groups
it
next
when
week.
there's a
Theme.
direction for the girl group.
Right.
Like
Right.
it wasn't necessarily my favorite challenge, but I like the idea of like when they did the 60s girl groups. I didn't necessarily
Mhm.
like that, but like the idea of having like not just like a vast girl group.
Good girls and bad girls.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mr.
Actually.
Right.
That was kind of fun. I liked it.
Mr. Right. That's the other song as of recent that it's been Bad Bitches Don't Cry, Mr. Right, and just
Slay a
Tiffany's
Claw?
entire verse.
Oh.
No. Tiffany's entire verse from the first episode. Like
Yeah.
that's just all that's been
I
stuck
still
in my
have
head.
Slay a Claw in my head.
Oh Lord. Oh yeah. I play that very regularly.
I'm still on Michaela.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for this extra long recap, and we haven't even talked about the looks yet. So make sure to tune in for the look over here, where we're going to dive into both runway categories for this episode of Canada's Drag Race. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Send all of your love to Sangina and all of these girls, because they are exceptional drag artists putting themselves out on TV for you all. And in the meantime, subscribe, like, and share, because we're going to be here all the time giving you almost all things drag. We've got season 17 on the horizon, and we've got all of our end of the year videos as well. So stay tuned. Canada's Drag Race season 5 and 4 will likely be very prominent on all of our end of the year lists. So make sure to tune in for those. Check out the description below, where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug. Y'all are never ready for the merch plug.
Sometimes.
And I still get the sides wrong.
I forget.
At least we have our
With
merch.
Ooh. Peer,
I have explained several times why I don't have mine currently. Fuck you, David. Cheers.